All right, today we are going to explore investigation 2.4 from our Accentuate the Negative book. This poses the question of fact families and their relationship to negative numbers. So real quickly, this video is going to be short. We've talked about fact families a lot. It's kind of a very, very simple concept, and I think you'll pick up on this easily. So we are first going to talk about notation for positive and negative numbers. We've been typically writing them with the raised value. So like for positive 4, we've been putting the sign up there. And that's so that we don't get confused by something like this. Okay? Now, typically in math, we don't write the sign for positive numbers. Okay? That a positive 3 equals a 3 without a sign at all. Okay? Negative numbers are usually written with the dash, like a subtraction sign, but it also helps to get it up there above. Okay? The book is from now on, and this is usually a good way of doing it, is going to, in a number sentence like this one, if we had negative 5 minus a negative 8, that would equal negative 5 minus minus 8. And then they're going to use parentheses, okay? So they're going to take that sign, and sometimes even on the things that you will see from us on from the computer, anything that we do on a printer, sometimes that raised sign like this is kind of hard to get done, and so you'll see 2 dashes. So what we do to avoid confusion is we add parentheses around it, so that you can see that this is a subtraction sign and that this is a negative sign, okay? So that it basically is helping you delineate between the two. Now, the subtraction symbol also indicates the opposite of a number. For example, negative 8 represents the opposite of 8. The expression negative 8 represents the opposite of a negative 8, which would equal a positive 8. All right, so we're going to continue our discussion here and look at A1 and 2 and find the value of C for each one of these different relationships. So we have A plus B equals C, A equals C minus B, and B equals C minus A, which would be kind of a fact family relationship. So find the value of C for if A and B are both positive rational numbers. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to select for A1, put this over here, I want A to equal 5 and B to equal 7. So for A plus B equals C, I will substitute and for 5 for A, I will substitute 7 for B, and then I add, and C in this case would equal 12. Now, for the next one, I have A equals C minus B. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to say that 5 would equal C minus 7. And then if C is in fact 12, this should work. So 5 equals, I'm going to put 12 here, minus 7. 12 minus 7 is 5, and so it does work. So now we move on to the third part, where we have, B equals C minus A. So again, A is 5, so we're going to say that, and B is 7, so 7 would equal 12 minus 5. We're going to substitute our values in there. And remember that C is 12. So is 7 12 minus 5? So it's 12 minus 5 is 7. The relationship works. Okay. So there you go. That would be a fact family relationship. So A1 is a fact family relationship. Okay? Now, let's go on and do, I'm going to skip A2. You guys can go back and do A2 and A4 before class. We'll put before class on here. All right. And then I'm going to do A3. Okay, so we have A is a positive rational number, B is a negative rational number. So I want this time for A to be a positive rational number. We're going to say A is 4 and B is a negative rational number. Let's go with a negative 7. Okay, so we don't know what C is going to equal, so we're going to set up the first relationship, A plus B equals C. So A, 4, plus a negative 7, we're going to substitute that value in there, equals. So I know from earlier lessons that I'm going to look at the absolute value of these numbers. So 4 plus 7, the absolute value of these, 7 has the largest absolute value. It also has the negative sign, so my answer will be negative. And then I'm going to subtract them. The difference between these numbers is 3, so 4 plus a negative 3, or 4 plus a negative 7 is negative 3. So in this case, for this to be a fact family relationship, C should always equal a negative 3. So let's go back to the second one where A equals C minus B. So A equals C, we're going to substitute it in for negative 3 minus a negative 7. Well, from the other day, we learned that subtracting a negative is like adding a positive. So 4 minus a negative 7, does 4 equal negative 3 plus a positive 7? Again, the difference here, these are the same way of writing the same equation. 7 plus a negative 3 would be a positive 4. So it does work for this one. All right. Now let's take a look at that last one, that B equals C minus A. So B was negative 7 equals a negative 3 minus 4. Okay, that positive 4. So we'll put a little plus sign up there. Now, let's think about this logically for a second. If I owed somebody $3 and I have to borrow more money, that would be like subtracting a positive value from my account. So we're borrowing more. I would end up owing $7. So a negative 7 would equal negative 3 plus a negative 4, and that these, again, subtracting a positive is like adding a negative, okay, that equals. So it works for all three of them. A3 is a fact family relationship, okay? Again, before class, I want you to do B2 and B4. You're going to do B4 before B4, or do B4 before class. That's funny. Sorry. Anyway, make sure you watch it again if you need some help. We'll see you in class.